early Naruto, it always seems like it would be a few clans fighting for power. Even though these battles took place before the main story of Naruto began, we would always hear about the great battles between the Uchiha and the Senju, because these two clans made a majority of the first couple of the Ninja Wars, as they never really got along and would always want things to go their way. The Uzumakis were around, but they weren't involved in most of these wars, as they mainly were, off to the side and not really conflict heavy like the Uchiha and the Senju were. While these clans were home to some of the strongest ninjas, especially in the earlier days, all three of these clans just mysteriously, well, not the Uchiha, but just ended up being wiped out, except for the Hyuga clan. The Hyuga clan were the only one of the four major clans that were seen as the strongest to survive their early ninja wars into present day. Now, from what we know about Naruto and what I've been able to research on, the Hyuga clan were not involved in any of the major conflicts in the early ninja days. The same thing can be said for the Uzumakis, but it's still not clear what happened to them, and we don't necessarily know if they were wiped out. While the Hyuga might not be the strongest clan that we've ever seen in Naruto, they are the most strict and also the most stern when it comes down to the clans in Naruto. The Hyuga even going so far as to, as upon death of a Hyuga clan member, no one can copy or even study their techniques or jutsus. And we even see that members of the Sai family have a curse mark on their foreheads that they can literally be tortured with. With a clan this stern and strict, you would think that they would be the smartest clan, and you would be right. And as we've seen in flashbacks and in part with Naruto and Neji, with the Hyuga clan being so obsessed with their bloodline and how their clan will be 5 generations from now, I wouldn't put it past the Hyuga clan to kind of conspire against the Leaf and get away with it. And when I say conspire, I don't necessarily mean in a way of war or battle, but more of a tactical way, as we've seen that Hyuga can be the most tactical out of all the clans and not necessarily just use brute force like the Uchiha and like the Senju. Not to say that those two clans weren't tactical either, but out of all of them, the Hyugas seem to make the best decision and not get involved in the wars between the Uchihas and the Senjus. Because above anything, a clan like the Hyugas would be more blind to use political power rather than just raw strength. Since nobody in their clan really uses ninjutsu like that, they're not necessarily the best clan to start a war with other clans. And to put it simply, what I mean by this is, the Hyuga clan not getting involved in any of the old wars between the Senjus and the Uchihas was on purpose, as the Hyuga clan saw that there would never be peace between the Uchihas and the Senjus. They strategically backed down from war and just kind of stood to the side and let the Senjus and Uchihas fight. But let's actually get into the meat and potatoes of this theory. As we all know, early in Hinata and her sister's life, they both were sort of, challenged to lead on the Hyuga legacy, and they both had to fight each other to see who would lead the Hyuga clan after them. But as we all know, Hinata failed and was basically kicked out by her father, and her sister was able to take her place. And after that, Hinata was assumed to be a failure to her family, and her sister Hanabi basically took her place to carry on the Hyuga legacy the way that they wanted to. But it's kind of confusing after that. Hanabi was never shown in Naruto basically at all. We only saw her in little clips and flashbacks to Hinata's early childhood. But it seemed like the main Hyuga clan member that would be propped up as the next, leader of the legacy would be Neji. Neji had all the qualities that Hinata's father was looking for in Hinata. He was ruthless and ready to kill whenever he was needed to. He carried the Hyuga name with the most respect, and he was the one who really was the Hyuga clan member of the Leaf Village, and Hinata was sort of, off to the wayside, because we never hear about any other Hyuga clan member besides Neji and Hinata. But as we all know, Neji is not a member of the main family, he's a member of the side family. So his only job was to protect Hinata and other members of the main family and basically be their servant. So Neji wasn't the one that the Hyuga clan wanted to represent them, even though he was presented as a genius, especially in early Naruto days. So with the Hyuga clan not willing to prop up Neji to be their next leader and carry on the Hyuga legacy himself, and Hinata not really being the type of leader that they would want to be seen and be the noticeable member of their clan, they had to take a different approach to how they want their clan to have the power that they so wanted or felt like they deserved. which is where we come into more current day in Boruto days, where we see that, Hinata and Naruto are now married with 2 children, which is what the Hyuga clan wanted all along. You see, as they saw that Hinata wasn't going to be the type of leader that they originally wanted to be or planned to be, they decided to take a different approach, especially after Neji was killed in the last Great Ninja War. And with Hinabi sort of taking a sensei role, they decided to let Hinata go against every type of rule that they ever instilled in her entire childhood. Now just hear me out for a second. Do we really think that the Hyuga clan was originally all okay with Hinata marrying Naruto? I know that by the time that Hinata and Naruto got married that he had had a lot of good grace in the village, but you would think that of a clan as stern and, disciplined as the Hyuga clan, that they wouldn't want someone of their main house marrying somebody like Naruto, even though he's had good grace with people in the village now, and that he's basically saved the world on many occasions. You would think that they would want Hinata to marry someone, either in their clan or more disciplined and not necessarily a goofball like Naruto. But the Hyuga clan saw this opportunity as a great one, as this would give them all the political power that they could have ever asked for. And as we all know, the Hyuga clan really only cares about their legacy and how their legacy is perceived and how it will go on. So Hinata marrying Naruto, who's basically an Uzumaki Senju hybrid, and having children with him, they saw that that was the best way to carry on their legacy and keep their legacy as secure as possible. And this has allowed the Hyuga clan to basically throw their hands up and basically say that they won the war between the clans. Not necessarily a literal war, but more of a metaphorical one, as of all the clans that were fighting so much in early Naruto, the Hyuga clan are the only one left standing, and now basically one of their own is royalty and sons and daughters of the Hokage, who's an Uzumaki slash distant relative of a Senju basically. With the Hyuga name in more high regard than it ever could have, and them having all the political power that they ever could have, they don't really need to do anything else besides just sit back and watch. And with Boruto and Himawari already knowing the Gentle Fist and both of them having the Byakugan, the Hyuga clan have basically cemented their name in shinobi history, as now their grandchildren will carry on the legacy of the entire clan. And I kind of want to explain what I mean by political power. Now that Hinata has basically married Naruto, if a situation was to ever come arise to where Naruto has to sort of choose between the benefit of the people in general or just the Hyuga clan, I feel like Naruto would be more swayed toward benefiting the Hyuga clan, as that's basically his family now, as the Uzumaki clan is nowhere to be found and neither is the Senju clan. So this gives the Hyuga clan more pull in politics, which is what, Naruto is basically involved in now besides just fighting all the time. So this gives them everything that they ever could have wanted, and their legacy is preserved forever. But this was just a theory that I thought of, nothing too serious, just kind of something that I came up with a friend of mine. Let me know what y'all think in the comments below, and I appreciate y'all for watching.